Hello everybody. This is my first video of the postpartum series, but I will obviously start with a few videos talking about my birth, and then I'll get into week one, and each week I'll do a postpartum video. So those of you who enjoy the pregnancy vlogs, I hope you like these ones as well. Firstly, I just want to say, it was just so beautiful to read all of the amazing messages and comments and well wishes from all of you. Mark and I actually read every single one of them. So thank you very much. It has just been a week of pure elation, and I think we're still pinching ourselves, really. It's just, we can't believe she's here. And yeah, so I just want to say how our hearts are just filled with so much gratitude to you all, and yeah, and it just doesn't go unnoticed, and it really had such a positive impact on our week, just reading all the beautiful things that you've all said. So thank you very much. She's on the boob. When she's done, I'll put her down. Okay, so this first video is going to be Forrest is over there trying to smash a shoe through the cat door. Anyway, okay, so I'll start with the birth. When I was 39 plus like 6 days, I started having contractions. And Gemma, my birth photographer, had just got here. She had arrived, I think, the night before, and then so that full Tuesday, I had. Are you all done? Oh, are you all done? I had contractions, and so because of how fast Forrest's birth went, I just assumed that it was go time, that these contractions meant, all right, it's on, you know, I'm having my baby today. And so I got so excited, and I did the dumb thing of messaging my birth team saying, oh, I think it's going down. And then, what, my boy? You want to come out? You can come out through that door over there. Do you want to ask Nanny? Ask Nana, she can let you out. So yeah, of course I did that thing where I texted everyone prematurely, and I was like, it's going down, it's happening. Hang on, let me just put her down. There we go, baby girl. There we go, shh, shh, shh. Her belly button fell off today. Hang on 1 second, I am just going to let Forrest come out. You need to come out? Okay, hang on. Shh, 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 shh. 1 second. Yes, buddy. Come on. Come on in. Not that shoe. Oh. It's all happening, juggling all the kids. 1 second. Do you want to go on the chair? Oh, I'm coming. Oh. Okay. Do you want some more boobies? Okay. Hang on 1 second. Welcome to my life. It is such a juggle between all of them. There we go. Oh, look, and now the cat's joined us. Hi, Blackwood. Okay, keep the sun off her. Okay, so yes, so that day they were really mild. The contractions were really mild, but they were consistent. So they were coming probably every 4 minutes. or 5 minutes. And so, as many of you know, once it gets to that point, that seems closer to active labor. However, they were super manageable. And I can't believe I was getting, oh my goodness. And I can't believe I was getting so excited. But I was, and I started timing them all, and then sure enough, come like 7 p.m, they all died down. So I was like, oh, okay, it's a bit anticlimactic. I'm just gonna go to sleep. And Mark was like, your midwife would say, have a bath, try and get some rest. So that's exactly what I did. Do you want to come down? What, baby? Oh, I see down there. Are you staying on the trampoline, or do you want Mummy to come and get you?
Do you want to get down?
Mummy, I'm just doing my vlog. Do you mind hanging out with him? Thanks, Mum. The perks of having your mum live right here. And here's Mark. Oh my gosh, all happening. Okay, so they died down, no contractions that night. And I was so close to texting my midwife, but it was all over. So then the next day, nothing. That was my due date, nothing. And I had decided I was staying at the house. I didn't want to do school pickup so that the mums would be asking, oh, are you in labour yet? Have you started having contractions? And I'm sure if any of you saw my last pregnancy vlog, that was such a pet peeve of mine the week that I was due, just having so many people say, is the baby here yet? Has she come, or has he come? And I think with Forrest, I was 5 days over my due date, but I was just emotionally over it. I was just questioning, why hasn't he come yet? And 5 days is nothing. There are some women who wait 2 weeks, even 3 weeks. Oh, what are you doing there? What's that? There we go. What are you doing? So then at 40 plus 1, I got some more contractions, and I went on a walk around the property. We have 10 acres of land here, and so my birth photographer Gemma came with us, and I remember waking up so early that morning. It was probably 3 or 4 a.m. Forrest had woken us up, and I was just up, and I was like, I am determined to get these contractions going, because I knew I had this impending induction date ahead of me, and I just wanted to try all the natural things to get her to come. So I got up, I jumped on the bounce ball, and I started doing circles with my hips and just drinking so much red raspberry leaf tea. I drank so much that I actually got sick. I was trudging around, this is so early in the morning. This is from like 4 through till 7, and I started getting a few contractions, and I was like, it's working. But now I realize that it was this very early, latent stage of labor, and they say sometimes for the third baby that that kind of on-off contraction pattern can continue for a number of days. And because I didn't have sort of a latent phase even with my birth with Forrest, I just expected once I got a contraction that it would continue on and I would be in full-blown labor a few hours later. That wasn't the case. So then that day, the contractions just stopped again, and I was starting to feel really deflated. I didn't understand what was going on, and I just knew that I had now reached the day after my due date, and that my midwife would start talking about wanting to induce. Hi, Blackwood. So these are all the things I had in that week. I had 2 stretch and sweeps, and the first one wasn't very successful because, do you need to have a little burpee? Because she actually wasn't that engaged. So she would do this thing where, and I guess apparently again, this happens with third babies. She would do this thing where she would be engaged and then she'd pop up again and she would disengage. And to do a stretch and sweep, the head of the baby has to be right down at the cervix so that they can do the separation properly. But because she was pushed up, the first stretch and sweep just didn't work. And so then we had a second one 2 days later, and it was a little more successful, but I basically had to put pressure on the top of my belly to make her engage more. That one, my midwife said she felt like she got a pretty good stretch and sweep. I'm just going to put her down 1 second.
There we go, baby girl. Mama, cover you up with a blankie. Cover you up, and you get to be out in nature and you get to watch these crazy cats climbing the trees. There we go. Shh, shh, shh.
Yeah, okay, so did those stretch and sweeps. And then, of course, was doing all the other things that they say to do that week. You know, spent time with Mark. We just all the walking, all the bounce ball stuff. I did 2 acupuncture sessions. I did an acupressure session. Oh, and the acupressure session, that was the day before I actually went into labor. That was great. That actually kick-started contractions really significantly, actually. The most contractions that I had, which was the day before I actually had her, I think was triggered because of this amazing woman here in Adelaide who did... she did some acupressure points. She also did a massage, and then she had me do some spinning babies techniques, standing in a certain like squat position, doing some work on the ball, doing some lunge work, some inversions. And 30 minutes later, after I saw her, and she also had me drinking so much water, my contractions just started. So they started and then they stopped again about 4 hours later. But I knew that I must be dilating. I knew that all of these contractions were at least counting towards something. And when Julie, my midwife, checked me, she said, oh yeah, you're a good 3 to 4 centimeters dilated and almost fully effaced. So I knew that just the long days of start-stop contractions were actually helping my body get to a place where once I was in active labor, things would pick up and probably go quite fast. So there was that kind of reassurance, and I knew that the frustration and the impatience wasn't for nothing, that it was actually adding to my labor experience. So then I woke up on Friday and I knew that my birth photographer, Gemma, was leaving the very next day. Oh, and she was meant to leave on Friday, but she's like, don't worry, I'll book my flight Saturday morning and we'll just see, we'll give it one more night. And I was like, oh my gosh, this has to happen tonight. And I had been determined, I'd been saying all along that I really just wanted to get to the boys' sports day because it was Bodhi's first sports day, and if you're Australian and you're watching this, you know that sports day is a big deal for Aussie schools, and it was his first one, and he was excited to race and do the relays, and he'd been practicing in PE class, and I was just so hopeful that I wasn't in labour during sports day, which is on the 12th. So that morning, Mark and I, we got up, nothing, no contractions, couldn't feel anything, was feeling a little bit deflated. And then went to sports day, was cheering the boys on. Forrest had his own little toddler version of sports day, which was really sweet. You know, had all the mums saying, oh, you haven't had your baby yet, which was fine, and I just laughed it off. And at that point, I was only 2 days past my due date, so I wasn't worried about it. And we just had such an amazing day together, all of us. And we were leaving sports day to go to the birth centre for a checkup straight from sports day. Okay, this is video 1, now's video 2.